What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about Beyond Meat. I want to go over some of the current data points and why this upcoming week you could see a breakout start. Before we get into any of that, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So Beyond Meat did have a pretty epic Friday, went up 6.73% and did have a high of $1.26. Conveniently, I did a Beyond Meat video roughly right here, right before it did break out. But nonetheless, there was some fairly abnormal transactions that did occur after hours on Friday, which normally doesn't happen all too frequently. So when it comes down to it, these were some of the big ones, 46.9. And then you had a good, I'd say about 25 transactions, all just shy of roughly 1 million shares. And typically, in my experience, that is hedge funds. So one hedge fund really wanted to get in, and for whatever reason, after hours Friday. So there could be a couple different explanations. One is that they might be acting based on news. As much as everyone likes to think that the market is perfect, someone always knows something ahead of time. So that could be one explanation, or you could see potentially that be just rebalancing. So we do have about a week and a half left in Q4, and as well at the end of the year, of course. So you might be seeing some institutions just simply rebalancing at the same time. But in all fairness, a lot of hedge funds don't really own Beyond Meat, especially based on just the market cap and how much it's actually gone down. So in general, it is fair to assume that some institution might be acting based on some non-public information. Unfortunately, there really hasn't been that much in news associated to Beyond Meat. Last official news was on November the 14th, of course. A couple other speculative things have come out, but still nothing really official. They did put out this, which was my last video that I kind of talked about as well. So a 8K, and in this, it kind of shows that this individual did and was terminated as of December the 18th. A lot of people are still speculating that this is because of this individual not aligning with company values. Could be the case. I think that's very speculative and jumping to the conclusion, but for as we know, technically they could have been sleeping with someone, or some other unethical kind of point. But nonetheless, this was the last kind of document that was submitted to the SEC. Going into this upcoming week, though, 27.71% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 122.03 million shares overall being shorted. On Friday, shorts did return 105,000 shares. So shorts, surprisingly, have been really doubling down. So short interest was on November the 7th, roughly around 15%. So since then, they have doubled down. So despite that, though, the actual share price has kind of held up fairly well. So that's something just to keep in mind. From an option standpoint, bulls are feeling that it should be above $1.50. So you do have quite a lot of different things, all signaling for this week to be fairly bullish. From a macro standpoint, the big data point that we have is going to be GDP, and that's coming out on Tuesday. This week's kind of unique because Wednesday the market does close at 1 o'clock, so that's going to be a little bit lower volume. Thursday the market's closed because of Christmas, so Merry Christmas to all that celebrate. And then we do have Friday, regular kind of trading day, but most likely we will be seeing fairly low volume. So given all of that, and Beyond Meat kind of on the verge of a nice breakout, all of it could come out perfectly just for Beyond Meat just to push higher, because when it came down to Friday, it did have a high of $1.26, as I mentioned. So it did close at 111. So trading between this pivot and this S1. So for those of you, again, that like to follow my channel, I very much focus on technicals. And I think in reality, it kind of does work out, because if you do truly just look at a lot of the data points, don't have emotion in kind of what you're thinking, like it's actually pretty easy to see how things are starting to form and whatever else. So as far as some support points, so if you're wanting to dollar cost average or whatever else, $1.08 and then $1.03 as support levels. Flip side, 117, 126, 131. Those are going to be the next strong target / resistance points. If it is able to get over that 126, or even better yet, quickly popping over to the chart, if it is able to get above the 50-day moving average, which is $1.33, this is where you could see some very serious price action. And so the 50-day moving average is a very big deal for growth stocks. And the 10-day moving average, so that white line right here, which conveniently did close right below, That's kind of a big deal for momentum plays, which I do believe Beyond Meat kind of falls under that category. So when it comes down to this upcoming week, you could see things get very real very fast, despite kind of the shorter week. And one thing to take notice though of is looking at the flow. So I covered quite a few different stocks, and on Friday, like, most of the volume did come from algorithmic trading. And in Beyond Meat's case, that's kind of normally the scenario as well. But oddly enough, on Friday, you see a lot of abnormal transactions. Again, kind of matching with what I kind of pointed out, how a lot of bigger players and big institutions and hedge funds were buying. Again, the $1 million question is why? But as far as just all of this, I think it is fair to assume that you could be seeing a very nice push higher. So let me know your thoughts on Beyond Meat. Are you planning on buying more? Are you selling? What's your kind of general thoughts on all of that? And then when it comes down to these abnormal transactions, do you think that there is a good justified explanation? On the dark pool, there really wasn't like too much. The big ones were 4.36 million, 3.29, 3.28. Normally, shorts like to use the dark pool to hide a lot of their transactions. So the fact that the secondary market, which you and I all trade on, as well as smaller players normally, like, for these transactions to be done on the secondary market, very abnormal. So definitely something to take notice of. And plus, you can tell that they are all buys. On a side note, I'm sure some of you might be kind of bringing that up or thinking that. You can see the bid, the ask, and the selling price. So whoever got in really wanted to get in because they actually paid more than the ask. So this 46.9 million, 109 was the bid, 110 was the ask, and it went for $1.11. So someone really wanted to get in. So let me know your general thoughts on Beyond Meat. Where do you see things going this upcoming week? Do you think it's going to be flat, consolidate, or push higher? One final thing, pop over to my Stacked account if you're looking for some solid on-point buy signals on stocks, options, crypto. Put out daily, day trades, numerous swing trades. Worthwhile to pop over there and check that out. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.